Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
It's good to have you here. I'm Whitney Ward. 2 days after WSU head football coach Nick Rolovich was fired, we are now learning that he plans to sue the university.
Plus, a little more than a month after Gonzaga head basketball coach Mark Few was cited for DUI, we have learned how Few pleaded in that case. Brenna Green joining us now with more on both of these high-profile stories, Brenna.
Yeah, that's correct. You guys pretty much summed it up pretty well. Nick Rolovich suing the university. Mark Few has pled guilty to DUI. Let's get into Nick Rolovich first. We learned several details from the statement his lawyer put out today. He has not officially filed this case yet. His lawyer says that Rolovich's religious exemption was not approved by the university, and that if it was approved, Rolovich felt that the university would have not made an accommodation for him. The statement also said that Rolovich was not allowed to address his team after Chun told him that his exemption was denied and that he was escorted to his car by campus police. We also officially found out that Rolovich identifies as a Catholic, which is something I asked Rolovich during this process, but he declined to answer. The Pope has repeatedly urged people to get vaccinated. Chun was heavily mentioned in the statement, which accused him of discriminatory and deceitful behavior. It was very clear that Rolovich is upset with Chun in particular. More from the statement, in part Chun's animus towards Coach Rolovich's sincerely held religious beliefs and Chun's dishonesty at the expense of Coach Rolovich during the past year is damning and will be thoroughly detailed in litigation. It is a tragic and damning commentary on our culture, and more specifically on Chun, that Coach Rolovich has been derided, demonized, and ultimately fired from his job. On to Few. News broke today that 5 days ago, Few pled guilty to DUI, quote, because he is guilty. That's what he said in court. Few was ordered to pay a $1,000 fine and do 24 hours of community service by February 1st. He also has to complete an unsupervised probation. He will be given driving privileges back on November 5th just to get to and from work, but he will have an ignition interlock system on his car. That means he'll have to prove he's not drunk before his vehicle can operate. His attorney also stated that Few had already completed both the drug and alcohol information and victim impact classes. Few said in court that he was very, very sorry and that this won't happen again. More from what Few's attorney had to say. Mr. Few appears before you very humbled. This was very out of character. He had spent a long day out in the sun and thought he was okay to drive, but he was not. It's not a mistake that he will make again. One thing I do want to point out about Nick Rolovich, this is a really interesting situation because normally when coaches sue a university, it goes into litigation and we never find out what happens and how much money the coach gets paid. In this situation, WSU does not want to pay him a dime. Right. So I would imagine this does play out in court and we do get some information about this process along the way.
It'll be interesting to see what happens, like if there's discovery, right? If he gets cross-examined. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. And it'll be very interesting once the actual lawsuit finally gets filed, because that is where we will learn more about the actual like specific detailed accusations against the university.
Yes.
All right, Brenna, thank you
Keep us
very much.
posted. Brenna's been busy, by the way. Thank you very much.
Just a little bit.
All right, if you'd like to know more about Rolovich's intentions to sue WSU or about Mark Few pleading guilty to driving under the influence, just text the word coaches to 509-448-2000 and we'll send that information directly to your phone.
In other top news tonight, overworked nurses and doctors, postponed elective surgeries, overloaded ICUs, all issues that 20 active duty military medical personnel are now here in Spokane to help with.
So this is similar to the DoD team that went to Kootenai Health in Coeur d'Alene last month to help with the flood of COVID patients there. KREM 2's Nicole Hernandez talked with Providence this morning about how the extra hands on deck will help hospital care there. Nicole?
Yeah, that's right, guys. So Spokane is actually the 11th place that the Department of Defense has sent help for the pandemic response to help out. So they are currently here. There are 20 on-the-ground medical professionals that are helping out in our hospitals right now, specifically at Providence. There are 14 nurses, 2 respiratory specialists, and 4 doctors coming from military bases in California and on the west side. The temporary team members shadowed Providence workers learning the hospital's procedures.
1, 2, 3.
The help is now allowing Providence to start doing elective surgeries again.
We're hopeful by the beginning of November we'll be back to roughly 80% of normal operations for getting those surgeries done.
That was Chief Medical Officer Dr. Dan Getz. He says the hospital is slowly letting anesthesiologists go back to the operating rooms as they get COVID care under control. But there is a backlog of postponed elective surgeries, so it will take some time to catch up.
It just has been relentless for over 18 months. So having support to come in and help expand our capacity as well as offer some reprieve to some of the people that are working in that environment has been a godsend.
Providence asked the Department of Defense for this help back in August. That was when Spokane County reported a record number of hospitalizations for COVID-19.
The resources that are needed to care for these patients are extraordinary.
Now hospitalizations are starting to dip down. Providence Holy Family is caring for 100 COVID patients right now. That's still more patients than the first surge of cases in 2020.
Our staff are exhausted, both physically and mentally. This has been a very, very trying time.
The Department of Defense will help for 1 month. If Providence still needs help after those 30 days, they can request the team stay longer. Now, Dr. Getz says they are seeing seemingly healthy people ending up on ventilators in their hospitals. Most of their serious cases are coming from people that are unvaccinated. Live in Spokane, I'm Nicole Hernandez.
Nicole, thank you very much. Well, we woke up with rain, but the day ended on a high note, and we could be expecting even more sunshine tomorrow. Let's get straight to meteorologist Tom Sherry in the Outdoor Weather Center. And Tom, it looks pretty nice out there at this hour.
Yeah, you know, if you look north, you see the clouds, but if you look straight up or south, it's just blue sky and a sun that is very, very low in the sky right now. Remember, the sun sets before 6 o'clock tonight, and by the time we get into the first weekend of November, we'll actually have to set our clocks back an hour, so it'll be dark by this time. My gosh, what's going on there, right? 56 degrees right now. Wind is out of the southwest at 10 miles per hour. You can see the rain now has moved up to the north of us. We had some soaking rain, as you well know, this morning. Viewers to the north of us are still seeing that rain, but it is dry in Spokane and really to the south of us and much to the west of us as well. But there are those showers in northeastern Washington. We'll continue to see drier weather as we begin to work our way into the overnight hours, but because of all the moisture and the cooler temperatures, looking for an overnight low of 39 degrees. And then tomorrow, if we get the amount of sunshine I'm anticipating, we could see daytime highs in the mid-60s. Could be a stellar Thursday, much like we saw on Monday and Tuesday. And then more rain, soaking rains on Friday, continued rain on Saturday and Sunday. 56 the high Saturday, 54 on Sunday. We'll take a look at your 7-day forecast. Fill in the blanks for you coming up in a few minutes.
Looking forward to that, Tom. Thank you very much. Several Washington fire departments are dealing with the impact of losing firefighters who chose not to get vaccinated. But the union representing Moses Lake firefighters says it will not accept the loss. They are fighting to get those firefighters back.
As KREM 2's Amanda Rolovich shares now how this shortage will affect the Moses Lake community as a whole. Amanda?
Yeah, Mark and Whitney, Moses Lake is a small fire department. Out of 36 firefighter union members, the Moses Lake Fire Department lost 3. Now, this may not seem like a lot, but the department was already experiencing a firefighter shortage even before the state's vaccine mandate. Now, leading up to the deadline for the mandate, the Moses Lake Firefighters Union shared who those 3 firefighters are. Captain Phil Walker, Lieutenant Jay Morris, and firefighter Michael Evans make up about 70 years of experience in the department. Union leaders tell me they all had their exemptions approved, but the city offered no accommodations. Union President Brandon Burns told me losing these firefighters could impact the calls the department responds to.
We're going to see times where we're not going to have enough staffed units to be able to respond to every call that gets called in. There's times now that we have to use mutual aids to come in, but they're already short-staffed as well.
Now, the union created a petition on change.org to bring back its firefighters. The campaign is about 600 signatures away from reaching its goal of 2,500. Now, the union president told me he does not know how long it will take to replace the firefighters they lost, but it's not just the people they lost, it's the experience and leadership they brought to the department. I'll have more on that tonight at 6. Reporting in the newsroom, Amanda Rolovich, KREM 2 News.
All right, Amanda, thank you very much. Well, it is battle of the school boards right now. A recall petition has been filed against 3 members of the Central Valley School Board. So coming up next, why the petition was started and what a judge had to say about it next.